everybody. My name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's May Favory, my favorite things, and it's the relationship series, which is an amazing series that we started that I really enjoy. Even receiving all your feedback, I understand that you really enjoy it as well. I hope you had a great Christmas. It's the 28th day of December. There are about 4 more days for the year to end, and I hope you've had a really, really great time. And I'm so grateful that this series is coming today. I have an amazing guest in studio.
Thank you.
It is so amazing to have you here, but let me first read your amazing profile, then you will let us know what about this profile and what you want us to know about yourself.
All right.
Then we can have a conversation on relationships.
Yes.
Wow. Kalekye Mumo is a celebrated media personality. This one I didn't know. Singer. An actor, you'll tell us about it.
Detail.
Media personality, I knew. Singer, I was like, singer, an actor. She has been in the media world for over 15 years, and in that time, gained a wealth of experience in sharing, entertaining, and intriguing stories. Yeah. I have experienced this firsthand. Her most notable media achievements were her 10-year run on the Kenya's biggest English-speaking FM radio station, Kiss FM, yes, working on 2 award-winning shows, The Rush Hour and The Morning Kiss. As a TV host, she hosted one of the most memorable family-oriented reality shows, The Couples Shows, for 2 years, and later honed her skill as Kenya's darling TV host on K24 TV's Talk Central. Yes. She loves music, and she has created some of the most expressive songs that I didn't know that describe different seasons she has been through. At the age of 40, her gift to herself, which I love, was to begin her own journey as a consultant, training people in communication skills, public speaking, events planning, and production. She loves to share herself with the world, and just as she is, and that authenticity, which is so true, backed by confidence, has seen many impacted by her life and her purpose. She's also a certified life coach, and has recently started her podcast, Conversations with Kalekye, which I was on, so I'm so excited. Woo! Yeah, to continue our mission of influencing lives one story at a time. I'm so grateful that even you got me to share my story.
I know,
on
right?
this amazing platform. So I was so excited about Conversations with Kalekye. I really was.
Thank you.
Really,
Thank you.
really
and
exciting.
What an introduction. I'm like, hey, you've done that? Oh, yeah, you did. Oh, yeah, you forgot about that part. I'm like, oh, yes. It's lovely to be here. Thank you for having me. I mean, it's so awesome to see you again. Obviously, having you in Conversations with Kalekye was epic.
It was amazing.
And I guess like many other people, they might be surprised. Seeing her? At which point?
I was like, seeing her? The other things I know, seeing her?
Well, I did dabble in music. I have always wanted to, and I'm a believer of if there's something that I want to do it, I'm going to go and try it. If it works for me, I keep it. If it doesn't, I'm like, yeah, okay, we did that. Bucket list, done. So I've always sang. I've been singing and acting since I was 9.
Wow.
And taking actually lead roles on musicals, and walked the journey with the late James Falkland, who was one of the biggest directors at Phoenix, and because I was a Loreto girl, we got to experience him from there.
Yes.
So I decided to do music. I did music, doing my own music like from 2013 to about 2015. Then I said, this thing is expensive in Kenya. We don't have the right streamlines for making money. And that time, the internet hadn't quite developed as it has now, where you can, put your music on different platforms and make your money. So it was difficult. But yes, I have songs. The title track for Conversations with Kalekye is called Gito. And I wrote and recorded guitar in collaboration with guys called Electric DJs, who are producers. Wow. And yeah, I was writing in both English, Swahili, and Kikamba. So that's one of the things that was different, is that I'm singing Kikamba. Yes, I did that for a while, and then I said, hey, expensive. Sasa tutaimbia Yesu. We just sing in church.
Don't worry, you never know when it will
don't
come
know
back
what will
again.
happen. Yeah.
You never know, you never know.
Yes.
Wow, so thank you for coming on the Just Angie and the May Favory.
I love that name, first of all.
I love,
May Favory.
That was Chitakwa. She just created it.
It's got some elegance.
I love it. I love it. Even me. And I always find myself doing, I can't just say
You can't say it. You have to
just have to do something to go with it. So I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
And so I know that you've been doing your own relationship series because of conversations about relationships.
Yes.
But today you said you wanted to talk about being single, born again, and in our late 40s, and how men view us. Yani is just,
me,
I don't know. Let me
I've come
properly.
for wisdom. So let me just say, I'm talking about it, but I've come for wisdom. I've come to learn. Because I think having conversations with people, you discuss and discover things that maybe you never know, you never saw it that way. And so I know that there are many women out there in this same group that I am in your 40s, you are single, you've never gotten married, you've never had children, and you're still hopeful because the Lord has said to each there is a mate. So as you're there wondering, this guy, is he still there? One. Two, when people hear you're a certain age and haven't had children, my experience, and especially because social media, those streets are rough.
I can imagine.
You're still waiting. Time yako ilishaisha, ushakuwa shosho. I mean, they really say nasty things.
Oh no.
They say nasty things. So, I'm like, what are we supposed to be doing as we wait? That's like in my mind, I'm like, me the way I think I still look beautiful.
You look beautiful. She's very beautiful.
Did you know that I am 47? Do I look it? I say no for myself because I still get a lot of younger guys hitting on me.
That's what you said, and I was like, wow. But it could be that the younger guys are it. You don't have to reject all of them.
I don't reject
I don't know that you have been rejecting them. Have you been rejecting them?
I've not rejected them. I've tried to do them and then it has not worked.
Yeah, that's what you said. But what didn't work?
So most of the experiences with younger guys, most people don't expect that I'm serious about where I want this to go. So if you're coming to talk to me, irrespective of how old you are,
just know I'm serious about
I want
this.
To meet someone with the aim of getting to marriage. So I'm not here to have fun.
That's so true.
I'm not here. And you see, the problem is because of the background of media, the assumption is media chicks are just for fun. I mean, it's always been. And so when they met me and they found, she does not, that is not who she is.
That's not who she is.
They kind of are taken aback. And so they're like, oh crap, I have to get myself together. I have to, yes, you have to get yourself together. You have to prepare yourself to have a conversation that is, we're not saying I've met you, boom, you're the one, but we're walking towards this way. So there are certain questions and certain things that I will be asking that are all for me to decide, do you make the best mate?
I think because of making things clear. I think that's what is important. At a certain age, we have to make things clear. At the beginning, I can't even say a certain age because I remember
I think I've done it all my life.
Yeah, when she was getting married, it was clear. Like her suitor said, "This is for this." Like there's a clear vision here, not just a wishy thing. But I don't know. So the streets of relationships for you,
the streets have been.
Oh, I'm so sorry already.
So even how we started conversations with Kalekye was about my love story because I've kept it private, but I wanted people to realize that it's not that I have refused, because you get a lot of your fans saying you just refused. You have refused. People are hitting on you. You've refused. Because your demands, your standards are too high. And I'm like, first of all,
our standards have to remain high.
Please and thank you.
Standards
and thank you
have to remain. No one is lowering this. Why would you lower your standards?
And in any case, by the time I attained this level of understanding of standards, there was something that was also happening in my life. Yes. So even me, I'm a high standard. Me, myself, when you observe me, I am a standard. So, again, what's wrong with being high standard? I know so many amazing high standard women who've met men who appreciate their standards and are leveling up. I just think that there's a lot of laziness and laxity from the men that we have. And unfortunately, in our generation, it's worse. They want it easy. They don't want to have to work too hard. When I look at the millennials and even the Gen Zs and what the guys will tell you they're going through, they will say that they know they have to have a certain capacity of work. They have to be able to know they bring certain bacon home. They are prepared to provide. They know that even to date a chick, I mean, of course, I think the chicks have taken them way overboard because they're behaving like the men should be their fathers and pay for them every way.
Yeah.
But that guy knows something that the guy in his late 30s and into his 40s is not willing to. He's aware, but he's like, cannot
not
be
flowing
me.
that way.
There are more women than men, so why do I have to? You know, I don't know if you've heard
It's
it.
almost an epidemic.
It is, right? And so in that epidemic, you'll find that the pickings are so slim that you'll find a man who's confident of a woman who is outspoken.
Because that's one thing I'm feeling, that they are not confident of you as of being even your partner, and the confidence issue is an issue.
The confidence is
that you're too confident,
issue.
you're successful,
Yes.
you have values. This is the problem.
So they feel, from my observation and experience, they can't fit. They feel that they are lesser. And I've met guys who are feeling less, and I'm like, I haven't judged you for being who you are.
So they've judged themselves.
They've judged themselves. So in a place where someone has judged themselves, they've already decided, who you? First of all, you look taken. See the way Pastor Angie, you look lovely, like
That's
this.
true. Oh, there are so many people who think, I look taken.
So my question is always, so I should not look nice?
No,
I shouldn't like nice things so that I get a husband? Are you kidding?
We've agreed we're not lowering our standards. And that's another thing. You know, there's even a time I used to wear a ring.
Oh,
and then somebody said, you can't wear a ring, you're going to cause more drama. I said, I want him to be able to discern. You should discern.
Whether the ring
is real or not. And you should be able to discern. If you know that you're my spouse, then you should be able to discern that, and you should be able to establish that. I want to, so I stopped doing it, but I don't know it went. But I was like, no,
it should not be.
It should not just be easy.
Issue.
You should know that you know that you know that you know. And just like when Adam woke up, he said, "This is woman, bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh."
Nobody had told him
that I'm your bone and your flesh. No,
you should be aware.
I think you should be aware.
You should be bold.
Boldness is something that is really lacking.
So the boldness that I've experienced in both my younger 30s, because I started radio pretty much later in my life. I had wanted to be on radio as far as I can remember. From 8, I knew I wanted to be like those people inside there speaking on VOK. But of course, my parents used to laugh it off at the time, right? Like, that's so funny. Then when I get out of campus and out of high school, and I'm saying, so I'm looking for a degree in communications. They're going, at what? Yeah, I want to be on radio. Serious. They're like, people who do radio do it for fun. It's not a serious job.
It's not a serious career.
It's not a career, because you need to have a job with an office and a door with your name. You remember they used to have the two names they come when you're hired, they put a name plaque in the 80s.
That is the vision
my parents
that
had.
Your parents had.
Yes. So by the time I am doing the degree that they have said they will pay for, it helped me in my life later. Giving it to them and going for what I want. It took quite a couple of years before I got on radio. From the time I graduated, it took me 5 years to even get a foot in any door. And when I did get it, is when now, your whole life starts to morph into you're visible, you're being in a place where everybody knows you. And so your success becomes marred by people who feel you're too big for them.
So it sort of lessens the pot. Is that what there was a pot that people were picking from? It reduces it.
It reduces
because now you're reducing your options because you're successful. But that's so sad, yeah.
And that's
what
a reality.
We're reducing our options because we're successful.
Yeah.
Because we're successful, we're good at what we do. You went there, you made a name for yourself.
You have a gift
in media. You have a gift that you're expressing that now makes you.
That makes the pickings slim.
That
makes the guys afraid of you. I remember once a guy I was getting to know, and he's like, I like you, lakini. Now he's having this conversation with himself, but with me.
But with you.
Yeah, I can tell that this is something he's going to process in his head and then talking. And he says, but now you'll be going to talk our stories on radio. I picked my things and I walked out. I left the date. So you think your stories are so important?
And also we can have a discussion about what you want discussed and what you don't want discussed.
Fast. But also I think judging a radio host in that way suggests that you don't understand the job
that they do.
Because there is Kalekye Mumo, the brand, and then there's Kalekye, who is your person or person. Those are two different characters. Because on the airwaves, you've actually been given a character Bible. It's like being an actor. So we had a character Bible.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yes. Who do you represent? What does she talk like? who is she speaking to? Who do we want to aspire? Because they have an audience. They want an audience that they will respond because that's who the advertiser they are pitching is looking for. So it has nothing to do with me who got onto radio at 29 going on 30. We are very different. And at the time, I didn't get it, but later I was like, yeah, God, you sent me there when I was older, so I was able to be mature about how I carry myself in this environment. Because it's obviously, media agencies, it can be crazy, and everybody just wants to sleep with you. And then when they realize they're coming to holler at you, and then they realize here it's for seriousness, they're like, whoa, okay, we can't approach her now. That is a no-go zone. She's a serious chick. And for some reason, that became the problem.
That is so sad.
Yeah, success and being serious about your values.
Be bold, be brave, be bold, be strategic. Exactly. Know what you want, know what the game plan is, and just
go for it.
Go for it.
And
that's what I was going to say.
And it's not written in stone that it has to work also. Because
that's another thing which I realized. Remember I told you about my one date after do how long, and I was like, new word. These streets are crazy. I called people, I said, this is what's going on the dating streets.
I am not going back.
People had told me, oh, Pastor, you have to date. I said, no. I said, no. When I gave in, I went on one date. And then the end, I'm never going back there. And this guy better come knowing what he needs and what he wants. I don't know how that story is going to pan out because I can't do that again, And
I think being older, you ask very specific questions.
But you're very serious. You're being very strategic, and you know exactly what you want.
I've been through the riffraff. I've gone through waiting to please the guy because I think if I'm not nice, he will leave. I've gone through the fear of, if you don't sleep with him, he'll leave. And I'm like, bruh. Bye. If you were going to leave, you would have left anyway. So no thank you, please, and thank you.
So I think, Kalekye, the most encouraging thing, although you're the one to speak, but I think the most encouraging thing is that imagine there's somebody out there. Imagine this story is going to change. I promise you.
Amen.
I love watching. I don't know, do you watch Dear Future Wifey?
Oh, absolutely.
I love that as well.
Podcast, yeah.
And there's a lady who's called Jackie Dorman as well. Really amazing. So I think I really believe that we're in a place of being prepared, and that it will be well. I think it will be well.
Yeah.
But I think having these conversations is good because there must be so many discouraged people out there.
Absolutely.
I was thinking about when people go to weddings, they're like, the aunties have come. They want to know what is happening. Then there's the advice, just have a baby. Because of that advice, sometimes from the staunchest, the auntie who had Jesus, they almost won. What? They don't tell me because at least I had a daughter. But the people they tell, you're like, this is the auntie who is next to Jesus. Her and Jesus, they are together.
She's
bumper to bumper.
Disciple number Nini.
She's now saying, to just have a baby. You're like, who is talking like that?
So for me, it wasn't the disciple, it was my mother.
Your mom even now.
It was my mom.
Now
my
just
mom,
have a child.
I love her. I love her, I do.
Okay.
But as a teenager, she put the fear of God.
That's another thing they did. Of course, concerning men.
About getting pregnant before you get married. And that affected, for me it did. It affected a lot. Came to learn through therapy, through going through, deep discussions like those, that it affected how I was ready to date or not. It affected me, and that's what makes me say, you're either working towards marriage or you're not. Fun and games, we don't do. And I started talking like that from as early as 16 years. That's the time when guys are still, you're in high school, I'm like, so what's your plan?
But thank God you played that game well, in high school, because things are thick
out there. Girls are just giving their bodies up.
Girls, people went through a lot of hell because of that confusion of not understanding. So I think that's a trauma that a lot of people... It's a trauma. From, I don't want to say from age 30, but a lot of people have to deal with that trauma. Because also we were told... So I think it's two ways, because even a viewer had written in and said, do you think this thing of being Christian and not having sex before marriage also affects the women when they get married?
Absolutely.
So I believe there's a bit of trauma in all that, in the way that we're raised, in the conversations that we had, and what was told to us that we need to sort of get out of, but still maintain the values.
I think it's important to maintain the values, but also to understand, are you maintaining them for you or because you were told to?
Okay.
Now
That's
that
a good
for
conversation.
me is the divide.
That's a good
where
conversation.
you're choosing it because you understand that your body is a temple. It is important to even have a conversation about your sexual expectations before. Now, what I am experiencing now as a Christian, because this was not my walk before, I won't sit here and tell you I was a virgin. No, I am now a, what do you call it? The reverse of waiting.
Yeah, there's a way they say that it becomes a secondary virginity.
Yeah, John Diko. So for me, I have a knowledge that somebody who's probably been born again from early stage and has been keeping themselves doesn't have
the knowledge.
Okay, all they know is if you want to have sex, get married. So you have a lot of people getting married very young
to have sex only.
Just to have sex
That's
only.
really sad.
Yeah, it's happening, right? Now, when that happens, like there was a conversation we had online, and I saw a video where a young girl was speaking to a man of God. They recorded it for some reason, and she was asking that, look, we're in the process of getting married. We've gone and done the PMCC. We've done now traditional, and we are walking towards
getting married.
The legal wedding. That man, her fiancé, has told her, but see, now we are married.
I saw that conversation as well. That when you get married, is it traditionally are you married?
Are you married?
But for me, you're not married.
Exactly. So I said, listen, guys, it's a step towards where you're going. Yes. This is not to bash anyone who says that that's all they wanted. But if you are a Christian and you've said, we want to complete it in church,
then you have to wait until church
And
is
why
done.
aren't you waiting since this
but
was
there's
the
a lot
process?
of pressure. Even I've sat with a couple who I sat with and I was like, this is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And so I started praying for them to get married earlier. So they did. Yeah, because it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem if we have to wait too long, or if one party considers you married and the other one doesn't consider.
So for me,
married.
actually, I found that for that particular conversation, the problem is they're not on the same page.
Both of them
they
already.
have not discussed, is this a value for us to wait?
Yeah.
And how are we waiting? Yeah. And therefore, by the time she has to ask a third party.
And it's really sad because the person, okay, maybe, but I was going to say maybe the person she needed to ask was her partner to be, but maybe that's already
that's what's already pulling them apart.
Yeah,
by the time
it's already a problem, so she can't discuss it.
Yeah. So I think and this has come from the fact that for me, a lot of guys assumed that because you're a media personality, you're a cow.
That you're living a loose lifestyle.
You're living a loose lifestyle. Where when you Mukamba, we know Kambaze. Listen, this is what's in the town. It's not me. You can't say you didn't hear it before.
Oh my God.
And so that assumption was there so much, so that a lot of guys who approached me were in it for one thing.
They came with the wrong approach.
They came with the wrong approach.
So now we're praying for the right guys to come with the right approach.
The right approach. We're also praying for the fact that you want a woman who is successful, can think, has an opinion, because guess what? When they say that this is your helper, can you want a damn helper?
No.
Who wants a damn helper?
You need a helper who's going to be able to execute an amazing vision.
And jump up and tell you, now, let's work together like this way. I will submit to you to tell me how we are going to do, but don't tell me not to have ideas, because then why are we in it?
And I've had ideas, I'm hearing you because I'm feeling like all the ideas you've had have created this great success, this great successful story. Yeah. And therefore, how do you start dimming it or dumbing it down?
Now.
So that, and it's not possible.
And
even when you try to do things like that, it will fail because the real you will come out.
You can only pretend for so long. I mean, I remember there's a guy I was getting to know, and now the pressure of, again, your mind plays tricks on you. The enemy is telling you, maybe the reason why you're not meeting the right person is because you've accepted to date younger guys. Because I have dated younger guys for a long part of my life. So maybe you need to find people who are within your age group and above. So I meet a guy who, at that time, I must have been 42. And he was 40, so I said, that's a smaller gap, because I've dated guys who are 5, 6 years, 7 years younger than me. And so I'm happy because, one, he has a good job, okay? He's, you can see he has his stuff together, he has a plan, he's got a good car, he's doing. So he's not intimidated by my car, my house, because that's a problem as well. When you're dating younger, they're intimidated by the things you have, so you don't know if they're there for the things you have or for you. That's the other.
The streets, need to get off the streets.
It's just difficult. And so I am now so excited that I've met such a person that I begin to compromise certain parts of myself.
Yeah, because you don't want to lose this person at the end of the day.
Because I'm like, now this one now looks and feels
the part
which you have been told is what you're supposed to do. Until he started making me reduce myself. You're loud. You
tone it down.
You should, do this over here. Then I'm like,
me, that's a red flag, red blanket, and I'm gone.
But listen,
like,
at the time when you're thinking
before.
you haven't dated for long and the younger people have shocked you.
But no.
I did for a minute, for a loose.
Thank you for being authentic, but no. Anyone who doesn't want you the way that you are is a problem. This is the relationship series.
That's it.
Anyone who doesn't want you the way that you are, appreciate you exactly the way you are, it's a problem.
And in any case, what are relationships? Is that we look at your faults and we see beyond them, because guess what? Each of us has them. Now, if we bring it back to the relationship that is of God, the author of relationships, when God looks at us and all the nonsense we do, if he was to tell us, by the way, outside, you're not part of my kingdom. If
he was to treat us the way we deserve, as he says.
So, are we not called to love like Christ loved the church? Are we called?
Yes.
So why are we not able to see beyond certain things?
Certain shortcomings that people have, and do it one for the other.
Because I think the perfect mate is the one that you will be able to see beyond their flaws and see that the strengths they have are worth loving more as you help each other grow in your weaker areas.
Yeah.
So
and to recognize that we both have weaker areas.
Yeah. I'm hopeful that those people exist for us.
I think they do.
I would like to encourage the woman who is in her 40s, never married, never had a child, especially the never had a child part can be brutal. Yeah. Like I said, it was my mother who after singing the "You cannot fear of God,"
now she said no.
See, Angalau, then you just have a
child.
I almost collapsed that day. I was like, you who made it such a problem for me to even date. A guy comes near me, don't touch me, I'll get pregnant. Now you're the one telling me to have a child. You must be joking. We are going to wait. And that is what I am doing. So to that person who feels discouraged, who feels, a lot of people make you think you're old goods. You are, in fact, they call you, you're in your 40s and you're being told, in fact, for you now, you're already menopausal. You're not yet. I'm not yet there. So, I'm not yet there. And also I serve the God of Rachel. I serve the God of Ruth. I serve the God who gives gifts that you don't expect. So to you, I say, keep holding on. Keep believing. God is not a man that he should lie. His promises are yes and amen. That's it.
Amen.
Yeah.
And he's going to do it. I mean, I was just thinking of, as we bring this to a close, I mean, all the programs, like now that Dear Future Wifey, I love it, I love listening to him because he brings stories of encouragement. I love his authenticity. I think your conversations with Kalekye, we're doing the relationship series. There's a lady called Jackie Dom. Listen, people are out there because God is showing that he's in this thing. And nobody can mark for him a time and say that this is going to happen, this is not going to happen. I really don't believe in that. I believe our faith also is able to produce for us. So I'm really looking forward because I feel like you've put yourself out there, Kalekye. You've done the conversation with Kalekye. You've done, you've really talked about this. You've been open about it. You're authentic about it. And that's amazing, coming from somebody who's a media personality. And so I feel that level of, I'm hearing the word impact and influence and authenticity to share your vulnerability like that is definitely going to produce the husband that God has ordained and set aside for you. It has to happen. And I'm so grateful even to hear about the children, that it's still going to happen.
It's still going to happen. I mean, so if God has willed it, why not? And if not, do you know how many children need to be adopted? There's so many cute babies out there.
So cute.
And it's okay. Yeah. And even this, now to the men who are out there, the men who are widowed, have children, and maybe are are afraid to put themselves back out there, you know what? Put yourself out there. Be prepared for whoever you approach, because that's the other thing. Exactly the way they are. They're bold. They have a haircut like mine, and you think, my God, your haircut is like a wife. Hii ndio inapika, hiyo ndio inakupenda. No, the haircut has nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
so
there's also a style and a way that
style.
you want to be.
So be bold, step out, and of course, kuja na adabu pia. Yeah. And I say that because, again, don't approach people with the assumption that because you're in your 40s...
Oh, because you're desperate. No one is
which
desperate.
Which is the other type of guy.
I'm in my 50s, almost 60, but no desperation.
But you've met them. I'm sure there are people who are just thinking, you just say yes.
No,
just say yes.
I refused to meet them. I met them once. I went on one date.
And you were like...
That was the end.
Time out.
Like the end. Now this one better come by also. They better, I don't know, but with the trumpet, because I'm not doing that anymore. Let me give you an encouragement.
You
need to finish up.
Yeah, I know, but one encouragement.
Yes.
I watched a video this week where there's a lady who said a lot of Christian women are told, oh, you people, you'll think you'll meet him when you're in the house, which is, I'm sure, how your friends encourage you to go out.
Yeah.
And she said, her husband literally walked up to her.
Yes, I know one who came to the door and knocked on it.
Yes.
Mine better land.
Yeah.
He lands the parachute. Or is this me there in the streets and he's brave enough to say something?
Supermarket.
Because mimi kitu tunaenda kuketi kunywa kahawa. I need healing. I have too much trauma. I'm not drinking coffee. Watch a coffee, I drink it in my house.
In your house.
Hey.
It's not working.
You know, you want to ask yourself, are you pastor? You know, you want to redefine.
Who am I?
Who am I exactly? Who am I again? Who am I? Hey? No. These things, no. I mind my house in mind my business in my
own house.
Yeah, like I don't even know. One day, even also, I came out on the streets. I think because I'm usually in my house early.
Yeah.
So I came out. I was like, Anna, I'm the one who's asleep. Hey,
people are
moving up. It's happening as well. Like, me, I'm not going to, but let me just chill there.
It's okay.
Me, I know the one that God has ordained for me is arriving.
And it will be easy and peaceful.
And he will be perfect. I promise you. Perfect. He'll be perfect.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I can't. No more streets of dating. Jesus will answer us. And I know he's going to answer you as well, Kalekye. And thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming here so we can do the relationship series. Yes. I can't wait to see what Conversations with Kalekye does, the particular section that we had. Yeah, but I'm grateful.
Amen.
Yeah. God bless. Okay, I don't know why I feel like saying don't go looking for love in all the wrong places. Please stop. Stop that thing of looking for love in the wrong places.
Yeah.
And love yourself, you know. Be aware of who you are and what you want and go after it. God bless you. Bye-bye.